about London Nelson and learning that he was buried at Evergreen Cemetery, I ran across an article that said he shared a grave with 5 other Negroes. And I said, wait a second. Who are these 5 other Negroes that share this grave? Now let me ask a question. I need y'all to listen. Raise your hand if you've ever been to a burial ground where enslaved people are resting. Raise your hand if you've ever been there. Raise your hand if you've been there and there's been more than one person resting there. Or 2, or 3. How many in California have you been to? There's not a lot of raised hands. It is very rare in the United States to find an intact burial ground of enslaved people. And I'm here to share with you that at Evergreen Cemetery so far we have found 11 people buried in plot 6 and 7. 11 black people buried in plot 6 and 7. So in this moment, I'd like to share their names with you. And I ask that after I say their names, you say their names. Can I get a yeah? Yeah. Are y'all still with me? Yeah. All right. Because Juneteenth isn't just about celebration, it's about our history. Yes. The reason we have Juneteenth is so that we preserve our history, so that our names are not lost to antiquity. Without this work, these names will be lost to antiquity and we wouldn't know the gem and the gift we have at Evergreen Cemetery of our ancestors actually resting in peace. So, of course, we have Mr. London Nelson, Joseph McAfee, George Andrew Chester, Henry Grant, Samuel Padmore, Andrew Hall, Jim Nelson, Mary Teresa Cooper, Martha Chester, her daughter Martha Ann Chester. And we found the name, but I haven't revealed it yet, of a 5-year-old child who was buried there. So we'll just leave him nameless until we can identify his family. This is a very large and heavy undertaking for I and one other researcher named Gabrielle to take on. We spend countless hours at the archives sifting through newspaper article after newspaper article, clipping after clipping, folded up pieces of paper that no one cared about for the last 40 years to find the names of these people. And it is important within our community that this sort of research is supported. If this is something that interests you, if you have stories or documentation that can add to this narrative of a Black history in Santa Cruz, please feel free to reach out to us. We are the London Nelson Legacy Initiative. You can reach out to the Museum of Art and History directly. You can reach out to Santa Cruz Black Health Matters Initiative, who has been the driving force behind this research so that we can continue to know this. Now, before I close out, it is important for me to say that Juneteenth did not end slavery. Are we clear on that? Juneteenth did not end slavery. The 13th Amendment said it was ended unless as punishment for a crime. Then we see the overcriminalization of Black people. Then we see the prison industrial complex. Then we see the school to prison pipeline, and it's almost like they're re-enslaving us. It's almost like they expanded what it meant to be someone who was worthy to be a slave. Instead of it's Black, it's criminal. But then they get to determine who's a criminal. The prison industrial complex is a $74 billion industry. That is a higher GDP than 133 countries. And if you think it's going somewhere without a fight, you're wrong. So if you want to honor the legacy of Juneteenth, you need to be doing prison abolition work, because none of us deserve to be enslaved. None of us do. There are over 2 million people who are currently in the prison industrial complex. And despite Black people making up only 14% of the population, we make up 38% of the prison population. It's almost like someone is re-enslaving us. So Juneteenth means to acknowledge that the prison industrial complex still stands and that it is our job to fight for our brothers and sisters who are being held behind bars.
Speaking the truth.
All right.
Speaking
Y'all
the
have
truth.
a wonderful day. Have a wonderful Juneteenth. Please go to Evergreen Cemetery. Visit your ancestors. Visit your ancestors. Visit your ancestors. Leave some flowers. Y'all celebrating here. Go on over to Evergreen. There's people who were actually slaves there. They up there. Go see them. All right.
Luna,
I can't be the only one up there, y'all. Come on.
Wonderful.
Come on with me.
Give it up for Luna, y'all. Thank you. Thank you so much. See, this is what we do. We speak to each other from the heart. We speak the truth. We do our research, and we share with one another, right? Absolutely wonderful. That's what we do.